Hey everybody, good morning. So today we're going to do a cooking class. It should be a fun class. It's going to be a simple recipe and something I like to do like now, kind of, in the morning, where you just basically make something that's easy to make, quick to eat, but it still tastes really good. You want it to be flavorful. And so I've got my stuff here. I have my hat on, my Lucky Jazz hat, go Jazz. Mainly because of my long hair, and I don't want to get hair in any of my food. That's always my goal, because nobody likes hair in their food. I'm pretty sure, but I'm almost positive of that. But then what we're going to do is I want to teach you a little thing called mise en place, and it's a French term that just means everything in its place. So before you get started in a cooking, when you're starting to cook something, you want to make sure you have everything you need. So right now I'll show you what I have. For my class, what I'm going to need, since it's called egg on toast, I'm going to need bread, which I have my bread here. I'm going to need some butter, so I've got my butter. I'm going to need cheese, because everything goes better with cheese for me, unless you're, I don't know, lactose intolerant. And you don't need to put the cheese on. We've got the eggs, nice farm fresh eggs. I've got some salt and pepper, and a cutting board, and of course, the pan to fry the egg. I also have a toaster oven over here, which I'll just toast. I like to toast the bread just to give it a little crunch. Plain bread, it's just not gonna have that crunch that you really want. So first things first, I have my plate here that I'm going to eat on. Now I like to cut down on actually doing dishes, and so one good thing about this is that I I can actually cut down on doing dishes by grating my cheese right here on my plate. So I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to have to tilt the camera a little bit, but that way you can just kind of see how easy it is. So here we go. So here we go. Here's my little cooking station. We're going to open up the cheese. There we go. Come right out. I always keep my cheese in a bag like this, of course, to keep it fresh. But we're not going to need a ton of cheese. But I always like to have cheese. And then we grate. Very careful, make sure you keep your knuckles back. You don't want to hurt yourself. People have had cheese grating accidents. And like I said, we don't need a ton of cheese. But enough. Just to go right on top of that egg once you're done. There we go with that. Got ourselves some cheese. Pretty simple so far. That's all we really need for that. Now what we're going to want to do is come over here. And we are going to start to cook. So I've got my pan. And I'm going to turn the oven on just to kind of a medium heat. When it comes to eggs, what you want to do is you want it to go kind of low and slow. Just kind of get a nice heat on it. We're going to put the butter down on there. And then as it's going, you just want to make sure that you're going to cook the egg all the way through. You don't want any of those, you'll see the whites on the egg. You want to make sure that it's called the albumin. You want to make sure that that's cooked all the way down. You don't want really any of that. Nobody likes it. It's got this viscous sort of feel to it and look to it, and it's actually not healthy to eat. That means the egg's not cooked, and eggs are definitely something that you want to have cooked. So I'm going to cut my butter right now. Wait till this gets kind of warm. And usually I'd have music going if I could, but I don't want to distract from the camera time. So we want a nice healthy chunk of butter. I'm going to put that in there and just kind of let it melt down. And the good thing is you can kind of watch to see as the butter goes down how hot your pan actually is. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit higher. And then as it cooks down, you're going to start to see how hot, but you want to coat the whole pan. Like I always coat everything, make sure. Butter. I love watching butter, especially melt. But you see now it's going to get nice and hot, so we're starting to go there. I'm going to prep up the bread right now. Going to put it in the toaster oven over here. So we have that ready to go. Now the butter's really starting to go there. There we go. Swish it around. But we really want this pan to get hot. Another thing is you don't want to leave this on for too long. What happens if you leave it on for too long is it will burn the butter. And burnt butter does not taste good. Unless you do it right, but then you add sugar and things like that, and you can make yourself caramel, but this is not what we're doing with this. We just want nice butter. Just to kind of soak up all the flavors, into the egg, which will just make the egg taste even better. Alright, so I got my salt and pepper right here. I'm also going to get a little bit of hot sauce for after, just to kind of dress. I prefer Cholula. Okay, so this is pretty good right now. Now you don't ever want to touch it, but you can feel the heat coming off the pan. Depending on how hungry you are, you could have 1 egg, you could have 2 eggs. It's all up to you. Now I'm not the greatest at cracking eggs, so hopefully this works. If not, I'll just have to have a little bit of a dry yolk. You pop open the egg, set it down in there. Alright, we did not break the yolk, that's a good thing. There's another thing about making eggs. Everything right now that's on my hands is salmonella, so I need to wash my hands. We should be washing our hands anyway, right everybody? But right now I definitely need to wash my hands. And you just let that cook. There it goes, you can hear it starting to fry. It's a good noise. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit of salt. There you go. And then we start our bread to toast. Make sure it's on the toast setting now. And you can see the viscousness right here. That is what you want to cook down. We don't want any of that. Alright, this is starting to look good. Once it cooks a little bit more, then I add my cheese. And then we'll just melt the cheese right on top here. And with the butter around here, the cheese won't stick to the pan. It's also a non-stick pan, but I add butter just, butter's flavor. There you go, and you can kind of move this stuff around and break it up. It's up to you. You just don't want to break that yolk. So we got ourselves a nice yolk right there. Right at this point, I'm confident enough that I can add my cheese. I'm just going to take my cheese here, set it right on top there. And then what I'm going to do, see, and now I'm saving plate time. I can just kind of swipe the rest of this into the sink or into the garbage, or eat it. You don't want to waste cheese. Now, to help that cheese melt, I'm going to throw this right on top. And just kind of let it cook down for a bit. Now we're going to want to turn it down a little bit. Again, it's low and slow. And the cheese, even after you're done, the heat still from the pan, like even if it's not completely melted, will still kind of melt into it. Check on our toast. It's looking good. I'm going to flip it. And we're almost done. I think we're pretty much there. So I'm going to move this stuff off to the side. We've already used our salt and pepper. We are going to want our plate ready to go. Take that toast, we're going to plop it there, and we're going to sweep this egg right onto there. And then you will have yourself egg on toast. Alright, toast looks good. Set it down here. I like the way that side looks better. Alright, now we're going to turn off the range. Take this off. Ooh, and then you got, look yourself. Nice melted cheese all over that egg. Just want to pick up the egg a little bit. Just kind of scrape around the sides. Make sure it's loose enough to come off. Let's see, there we go. I'm going to take this egg. I'm just going to slide it right over here onto my piece of toast. Almost there, almost there. There we go. Take my pan, put it in the sink. I'll get a few drops of my Cholula. There you go. Oh, it's a little warm. Oh, forgot. Cholula used to only have the wood lid. Now they doubled it up. And now you have yourself egg on toast. Alright, everybody. I hope that helped. It was great seeing you. And I will see you again soon. Okay, ciao for now.